Hello and welcome back to Compelled to Impact, or welcome if you're here for the first time. Let's get into it. What if you are not behind in life, not broken beyond repair, not disqualified by your past? You are almost always in process, not punishment like many in just about any area of authority would like you to believe, but process. At Compelled to Impact, we don't believe you are here to survive quietly. We believe each person is here to live boldly, aligned in spirit, soul, and body, led by love. Today, I want to introduce a framework that has shaped my coaching. My book, Be the Masterpiece, which I'll show you right here. I don't know where that's showing up, but anyway, Be the Masterpiece. It's on my website and on Amazon. um, and and my own healing journey. You were never meant to be flawless. You were meant to become the whole person you are capable of being, whole by design. You were designed to live whole, and this is an acronym that has been part of my business since the beginning, about 15 years ago. It stands for Working Harmony of Life Elements. Funny story, the first word I used was Applied Harmony of Life Elements, but that wasn't a very nice acronym. So applied became working. I'm not going to say what it was. You can figure it out. These elements are your spirit, which is the eternal part of who you are, your soul, which is your mind and heart, and your body. They are not competing with each other for top billing, not fragmented, separated, but cooperating with one another in alignment. They each play a specific part and need to be nurtured, nourished, and cared for to grow. Most people try to change their lives by changing behavior, but behavior is a byproduct of thoughts and beliefs. It's downstream. Aligned alignment is upstream. So how do you get into alignment? What does this even mean? If your inner world is chaotic, no strategy will fix it. However, if your spirit, soul, and body are aligned, clarity becomes natural, peace becomes accessible, and purpose becomes actionable. It's important to find order and organization in your thoughts and actions. Part of that is focusing on one thing at a time. At the beginning was your foundation. You arrived here whole, in perfect form, not with perfect behavior, not with perfect knowledge, but whole by design. In other words, designed for wholeness. Then life began shaping you through your family systems, unspoken expectations, religious conditioning or cultural narratives, and survival responses. Some of those influences strengthened you, some distorted you along the way, and may have taught you how to only survive, living from your sympathetic nervous system that wants to protect you at all times and keep you safe. Your brain has been brilliant to keep you protected from harm, whether it was successful at it or not. As an adult, you are invited into personal responsibility, not through shame, but responsibility for the privilege of being a functional, responsible human. And through all possibilities, you are still here. That means this is all possible. Responsibility means you have the authority to realign. The invitation might be confusing since you probably didn't learn how it's done. However, it's not impossible. A lot of us have done it, and here we are, able to enjoy every moment of life. Even the hard parts can be enjoyed because you know that a lot of those are going to lead to growth and strength and getting through the next phase. You only need to learn how to remember who you were when you started as a newborn baby and what your purpose is. Sound impossible? It's really not. It's very interesting how this works. Here is the progression of the path back to the original you, usually in this order, but it can be different. Communication leads to understanding. Communicating with God, divine power, and love, as well as learning how to um, let go and observe your spirit, mind, heart, and body communicate with each other. I was right in the first place, how to let them do that. Understanding leads to knowledge. Being open to learn about yourself and your life is essential. Knowledge leads to appreciation, appreciation of this life and everything in it that has brought you to this point so far. Appreciation builds value. You begin to see the absolute miracle that you are and the possibility of purpose that comes from it. You can look this up. The estimated probability of you, specifically you, being born as a unique individual is roughly 1 in 400 trillion. That's crazy. But it's true. This calculation includes the odds of your parents meeting, surviving, and producing specific sperm and egg combinations, often described as a near miraculous event. Learning this value of your life here on this earth and knowing it's the same for each of us produces respect for ourselves and for each other. Respect makes unconditional love possible. This is also a kind of a miracle since very few people can even comprehend, much less practice, unconditional love. You cannot sustainably love what you do not understand, which means understanding yourself, understanding all about how this came to be um, is is a miracle in itself. And many people do not understand themselves, which is where all begins. Many philosophers, many religious leaders, I don't know about leaders, but influencers, um, and philosophers such as Aristotle, Socrates, Carl Jung, he's not a philosopher, but you know what I'm saying, and others have contributed to quotes that provide this information. Knowing yourself is the foundation of wisdom, authenticity, and personal power, allowing you to align actions with true values. In learning how to know yourself, you can more clearly find your spirit connected to the divine. It's like finally plugging in the vacuum cleaner instead of just pushing it back and forth trying to get the same result as when it's actually on or plugged in. You might know how to manage yourself or suppress yourself or even outperform your exhaustion. A lot of us have done that. However, almost every one of us does not understand the intelligent architecture of our being until we sincerely start searching from the inside. Nothing outside of yourself will give you the same profound results. Over these next few videos, we will distinguish spirit from soul, identify emotional and generational patterns, restore body awareness, rebuild alignment with God from a place of love, not fear. Compelled to impact exists because I have learned that alignment produces impact, and I haven't been able to not follow this purpose to impact anyone searching for their truth. I do this not because I've always wanted to be on videos, and far from it. I do it because it's possible. And what I've learned can be a lighthouse for someone else with a desire to know how to live whole by design. When you are whole, you don't force influence, you emanate it. This is the compassionate truth. You may not have been taught how to love yourself. Many of us weren't. Some of us were taught productivity instead of presence, performance instead of worth, silence instead of self awareness. But today is a perfect day to begin restoration. Here's something you can start today. For the next 24 hours, ask yourself, where do I feel fragmented? Do I feel it in my decisions, emotions, energy, physical health, relationship with God or divine power? Just observe and become aware of the connections. Awareness is the doorway to alignment. If this resonates deeply, this is the exact work we do inside my mentoring containers. We do not rush transformation. We build foundations because you are not here to hustle your way into purpose. You are here to become the masterpiece you are intended to be, one aligned day at a time. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not striving every single day when you begin to relax and see that your timing is perfect for you to become whole. Everything you're looking for is on the inside. So that's where we begin. As always, I appreciate you for being here, for listening, subscribing, and everyone who comments, likes, and shares these videos with someone who's ready to rise into their next phase. Keep watching because I have a lot of free content here on YouTube. Buy my book if you want to see what's next, and stay tuned. uh, Check out the show notes, the description. I will have new information coming in the next probably 3 months, within the next 3 months. I love you all for being here, for listening to the end, and for taking dedicated action toward your growth and transformation. Let me know in the comments how this helps you and what you want to hear about. You never know when it will help someone else or help them articulate what they are feeling. Um, until next time, live excellently, give generously, and love lavishly. Bye. Mwah.